Hey y'all, how you doing today? I'm CVMG, and welcome back to a little bit more Inariel Legends Dragon Hunt. I'm gonna be honest, the early game can be a little bit rough, but with the help of some proper carries, we might be able to push through this. So without wasting a bunch of time, here's the top 4 early game carries for Inariel Legends Dragon Hunt. First, we're gonna start with an easy one, Bobo. Bobo is your starting character, but the fact of the matter is, he's just way too easy to get shards for. You'll be able to build him up faster than any other SR in the game, and it's not like he's the best and most game-changing hero in the game, but as far as early game carries go, he's not that bad. The spin to win attack, while it's not the strongest ability in the game, it certainly does hold up whenever you need an AoE. If you can set him up with a proper defense break and maybe an attack buff, then he definitely will serve you well. And seriously, you're gonna get him all the time, so there's no problem in just putting those shards to use. But if you're not too keen on rolling with a starting unit, let's take a look at our next carry. Dan. Dan is really a jack of all trades and super useful to have on the battlefield regardless. You don't have to worry about a lack of AoE because he has that taken care of. He also supplies himself a lot of self-shielding, which is really good for staying alive through difficult stages. The little bit of extra self-sustain that he supplies himself makes him extra capable of keeping himself alive. This way you don't have to rely too heavily on healer, and perhaps you could focus on more AoE heals rather than single target. All of his stacking armor means that you could throw him in the front line against hordes of enemies and he should be fine. Really, the only reason not to use him is if you just didn't need a tank. I mean, of course he's not going to be top tier in damage, but if there's a bunch of enemies, you're going to need somebody to soak all of those hits. But what if you did want someone that could deal a bit of damage? Then look no further than our next carry, Icy. Icy is actually able to compete with some of the SSRs in terms of damage. Once he gets that ultimate off, it's a huge multiplier right in the enemy's face, and it's really good for melting bosses. And again, with Icy, handling hordes of enemies is seldom an issue because of his AoE abilities. He's really good for slotting in all of those situations that call for an extra damage dealer. Hell, on some of the fights that don't require a healer, he could probably push you towards a new record. But yes, while he can excel in some burst DPS, he really can't take a hit. You're gonna have to build your entire team around keeping him alive because he doesn't have any survivability. Which actually leads us to our last early game carry, Shuri. If survivability was your issue before but you didn't want to sacrifice any of your damage, then Shuri might be that missing puzzle piece. First of all, she has innate lifesteal in her kit, so while fighting the enemy she'll heal herself, and then her ultimate makes her invincible while casting. She becomes completely untargetable and invincible, so no matter what the enemy is throwing at you, she can take it. Meanwhile, that ability that's making her impossible to kill is also dealing upwards of 2000% consecutive damage. Really, all you need to do is load her up with a little bit of attack speed and she will carry you through the entire early game. That attack speed doubles in effectiveness by giving her the ability to deal area of effect damage as well. Every 10th time she deals damage, she's going to launch the Claw of Asita to penetrate all enemies in the path. So with lifesteal, invincibility, crazy damage, and AoE capability, I think it's easy to say that makes Shuri one of the best early game carries. And those are going to be the top 4 early game carries for Inariel Legends Dragon Hunt. If you have another hero that you've been building up that you think should have been on the list, make sure you let me know why in a comment. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to download Inariel Legends using my special link in the description for RNGesus to bless your account. But other than that, y'all, that's gonna do it for me today, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.